Just like that, ladies and gentlemen, your Miami Heat are moving on to the Summer League championship game. It's all happening, baby. The summer has officially been fixed. All right, all order has been restored. And if you want to talk about the last infinity stone of making this the perfect Summer League, you wanted the breakout game from Swedish Swish himself, the Swedish chef, whatever the hell you want to call Pelle Larsson. But he was on fire today for your Miami Heat. And that was a really, really great thing to see, because this has been a summer, been some great performances already. We've seen Kel'el do his thing. Isaiah Stevens has been a revelation. Josh Christopher, once again, just emotional leader, but also big buckets down the stretch from Josh Christopher, where he's getting at it with old lacrosse intangibles over there, who's like trying to yak it at the entire time, trying to goad people into things. Christopher's not having it. He gets teed up. So we got to come out of halftime. They're like, oh, hopefully that's not going to cost him. Well, guess what, dude? It did not. It did not. And in fact, he comes through in the clutch. Miami wins 102-99 over the Golden State Warriors to move on to the championship game tomorrow against the Memphis Grizzlies to try and win the whole enchilada for the Vegas Summer League game. But the thing that you come out of this one immediately with was Pelle Larsson. First of all, the draft class starts cooking immediately. First quarter, they score 16 of the 22 Heat points. Pelle, he's hitting threes, but he's also setting up Kel'el for lobs. He's drawing all types of attention, dumps it off for dunks. Kel'el getting some threes in, and you're just thinking to yourself, the draft class looking pretty good. Kel'el's hitting threes. Pelle's doing it all. Pelle Larsson, after the first quarter, 9 points, 3 assists, 3 of 4 from downtown, 1 of 1 from three-point land. And the Miami Heat looked like they were like, hey, things are starting to look up. Then, bench comes in. Golden State goes on a big 15-0 run. They jump out to the lead. Pelle Larsson comes back in. What do you know? Things get sparked all of a sudden. It was really him and Ware early on. But then about this point, Kel'el kind of goes quiet. And it was very noticeable. There was, I don't know what, there was a couple weird things going on with Kel'el today. I don't know if it was a minutes thing they were trying to do with him, but he looked like up until the fourth quarter where he did come through. It just didn't look like he had either the burst about him, if he just didn't have the right, if he didn't, feel 100% today. Just didn't look like he had that same, dominant mindset. There were just some real strange bunnies that he was missing today. But it wouldn't matter. He'd come through when it was in a clutch point for Miami in this one. But it was really a back and forth affair throughout this. But it felt like, all right, the one thing you noticed with today with Miami, took them a while to get the 3-point game going. And for Golden State, they have like 28-year-olds playing, because you have Kevin Knox, who is doing everything for them in this performance. But, on the other end of it, the Heat, it was so exciting because Pelle was going out there. He has this bucket. He's like on the run through contact, which he's been really good at, by the way, the entire time. Like, he hasn't put up the most dazzling numbers, but this man, he feels like, probably outside of Kel'el, like he leads the team in and ones. Like, I haven't looked at free throw attempts, but it just feels like every bucket he gets into the paint, he's drawing contact. He's going through contact. He's finishing strong. And that's been a very, very impressive thing about Pelle early watching him in these summer games. So you had that to go through. And then, with this is where things got a little bit chippy at halftime. Josh Christopher, Pat Spencer getting at it. There's a technical foul. They come back into the fray from halftime. Kevin Knox kind of gets going. Golden State, they start getting up to about double digits. And that's where you start noticing like Kel'el just doesn't look like he's got the same bounce to him that he has normally had. So we get to the end of the third quarter. Miami is hanging around. They got it back after Golden State kind of grabbed control of the game for a little bit. Josh Christopher, he has this play. He's diving for a loose ball. Hip checks a fan. She falls out of her seat. She's laughing. He's checking on her, having a good time. And but on this play, you had a tough block from Caleb Daniels, who then comes on the other side, and he gets a bucket, brings Miami to within 3. They end up going into the third quarter. They're down 70-65, and you're like, all right, this is a ball game. This is a ball game, and immediately you start off the first quarter. Isaiah Stevens, I think it was Isaiah Stevens, finds Christopher, bang, 3-ball. And Miami just starts getting rolling with the threes. They're like right back into this thing. Then Alondes Williams hits one from downtown. Josh Christopher then just finds the rim. He puts Miami back up on top. All of a sudden, you're like, all right, boom. They're back into this thing, and they're just getting it from everybody. You know, Isaiah Stevens, he hits a sick-ass runner. And then this was probably the moment you were really hoping for, because Kel'el Ware comes back into the game, and he hits a beautiful turnaround shot and the foul, puts Miami up 80-76 after he hits the free throw. Your favorite Kryptonian shows up for a big one. Isaiah Stevens, he just continues his tremendous summer league and has just been a revelation. He turns it up and just cooks for a bucket. Caron Butler's loving it. He's just been an absolute marvel. And then you have Alondes Williams finding Kel'el Ware on the double team, gets another bucket and the foul. Miami's really starting to impose their will, getting to the rim, but it wouldn't be done yet. I mean, like, it was there was a point where it looked like Miami was going to start to grab it. Golden State gets a 3-ball. They bring it to within 3. And then Isaiah Stevens hits Pelle Larsson with what looks like a perfect near half-court alley-oop. And Pelle yaks it. He can't convert the shot, shockingly. And Kevin Knox comes in. He hits a shot, cuts it to within 1. Miami calls timeout. So then we start going really back and forth. Josh Christopher, he gets a bucket. They start trading leads. Isaiah Stevens gets it back. And then with about 1:30 left, a little bit over a minute and change into this game, a minute and a half in this game, they come out of a break. Pelle Larsson hits a big-time 3 over Kevin Knox to put Miami up 95-91. He wouldn't go away. He'd come back. He'd answer it right away. You noticed that it was going small. This one, I don't know if this was a foul thing, a matchup thing. They did take out Kel'el for a little stretch here. And so I don't know if Coach Dan was going by matchups. Again, I don't know if it's a minutes thing. I'm not, I have no insight into post game right now. I'm doing this right after the game. So if some answer comes out of this, we'll do with that what we will. But he got off to a really hot start. Obviously had those clutch buckets. In between, physically just didn't look all the way himself. So maybe there was something there. I'm not really sure. But all in all, you just have to be so thrilled with Miami's grit. They just seem to come through time and time again. So Josh Christopher hits this sick ass fall away bucket, gets the foul, huge clutch onions. Caleb Daniels that gets a big time steal on a pass from Spencer, who was yickety yakking a little bit too early. He goes to the line, puts the Heat up 4. And then Josh Christopher makes a critical error because he is flying past the shooter, takes out another fan, and ends up giving up a 3-shot foul. Luckily, the dude misses the second shot, and Pelle Larsson gets the rebound in traffic. That's all she wrote. Miami wins. And I apologize for my voice, everybody. I'm going to do everything I can to be good for the radio show tomorrow. Miami wins 102-99 and gets themselves a victory and gets themselves moving on to the Summer League title game. But today, the 2 game balls, you would have to say late for sure has to go to Josh Christopher. But throughout the entire game, Pelle Larsson was the Energizer Bunny through everything, man. I mean, he got the game going today. 21 points for Swedish Swish today. 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. He was awesome. 6 of 13, 2 of 3 from downtown, 7 of 7 from the line. He was a moose, but your leading scorer, Josh Christopher, 23 points, 7 of 15, 7 of 7 from the line, 2 of 7 from downtown. Huge performances from them. Kel'el, where even in a quote unquote uneven game, which is kind of, it's an interesting thing. You like watch him. I don't know if this is just a 7-footers thing, but like even in a down, like 18 points today, and had those 2 clutch possessions in the fourth quarter with and ones that really I felt swung momentum in a big way towards Miami. So, Kel'el was still big in this situation, even if it wasn't the flashiest game in the world. Isaiah Stevens, what can you say about him? I mean, every game he just jumps off the page. The only person you really can look at today and like, what the hell is going on there? Notable, Cole Swider. He had a donut for the for his field goals today. He was 0 of 5 from downtown, 0 of 6 from the field. Zion Poland, who has one of the two-way deals, only played 3 minutes 51 seconds and was 0 of 1. So that's definitely something that's going to be interesting when these roster decisions come through and who they're going to keep around. So keep a note of that. But look, the tremendous summer league rolls on for your Miami Heat. They win, but getting a performance like that was kind of like the last one. I was like, oh man, be great to get like the Pelle Larsson game, and I feel like today they got it. So really love seeing that from Miami, and looking forward to the finale tomorrow night.